All right, everybody, come on in, come on in. I am so excited. I'm so excited. For anybody new here, hi, I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. I always say you all know me for my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content, but today I am going to be reviewing for you all the end to end of my amazing and life-changing trip to Ghana. I have a very special guest with me today. I'm going to go ahead and bring him up. And if you all have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm just so excited to share with you all my home country. And you all may know that the travel company that I worked with, Royal Land Tours, has asked me to bring another group to Ghana this year, and every year I plan to go back. So if you're interested, I have links in the description. You can add your name to the Google form, and we're going to have a private Zoom to talk all about it. But today you can sit back and relax, and we are going to review my trip to Ghana. But without any further ado, I would like to introduce you all to Mr. Richard Addison. Hello, Mr. Richard. How are you?
Hello, Maggie. How are you too?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So for anyone who doesn't know, Richard was our tour guide in Ghana, and his company is Royal Land Tours. But Richard, if you would please just introduce yourself to my audience and let them know maybe how long you've been in the business and anything you want them to know about Royal Land Tours before we get started.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Richard Addison. I am the group lead of Royal Land Tours. We have Sabrine Martins as the director, and we have a group of young, energetic people we work with in the office, and then sometimes on the field as well. I've been in the tourism industry quite over 20 years now, and it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. To start with, I've worked for so many big companies, but at a point I realized the knowledge and then whatever I have garnered and gained, I have to put it in good use. So I decided to establish my own company with some group of people. I'm privileged to have Maggie also joining me now to see to it that we have a very good tour business where people would have customized, well-detailed tours, so that at the end of the day, you're well satisfied.
So wonderful to hear. So, okay, everybody, if you all have been following me for a while, and I know Richard's been following me too, I'm going to take you all back and then bring you up to where we are now. I am I guess maybe a global citizen. I love to travel, and I've traveled with lots of different tour companies, but hands down for me, this was an incredible experience, and I'm going to explain to you all why. So a little bit about me. You all know me as Maggie. My name is Margaret. Maggie is my childhood nickname, and a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually born in Ghana. If you've seen my family on my streams with me, my mom and my dad, they came from two different parts of Ghana, met in college, got married, and then like a lot of immigrants do, my dad wanted to come to the US for opportunity. And my parents went all the way up to PhD. So they're both retired professors, and my brother and I were raised here. So I was raised in America since age 1. But my dad always told me, Maggie, you're an African girl. So that's a little bit about my background. I have been to Ghana before. The first time I went to Ghana with my family, it was good, but it was the type of trip that was visiting a lot of aunties and uncles and cousins and staying in the village house. And it was great, but I really wanted to see the country of my birth. And when I asked my parents, I want to go here, I want to go there, they said, oh, Maggie, that's for tourists. And I'm kind of like, well, I'm kind of a tourist. So 5 years ago, you all may have heard about the Year of Return, which was a huge movement to welcome people from the diaspora. So basically Black Americans, Black Caribbeans, Black people from wherever back to Ghana. It was the 400-year anniversary of the first slave ships that left West Africa in 1619. So in 2019, there was so much events and so many activities, and I got my Ghana passport, and people were getting dual citizenship. And so I went 5 years ago, and I booked with a different travel company that I found online. And when I arrived in Ghana, Richard was my tour guide and did an amazing. And so 5 years later, the reason I wanted to go back, and the reason why you all saw the thumbnail here, this says Kweku Marcus goes to Ghana, is because you all know I'm a boy mom. We have 2 sons, and my boys have a mixed heritage. And it's very important to me that they learn about their Ghanaian culture. It's very important that they know where their mother is from, where their maternal grandparents are from. And I kept saying I wanted to take the boys to Ghana, but I didn't want to do it when they were babies because I wanted them to remember. And it was just one of those things where every year there was a summer camp or there was a holiday thing or whatever, and the time kept moving. Well, this year, Marcus is a senior in high school, and you all know he signed up to go to the Marines. So this is probably the last holiday break that we're going to have as a family where I know he will be home for Christmas. And so I said, that's it. I want to take Marcus to Ghana. I want him to see it for himself before he goes out into the world. So that is the reason why I went, besides the fact that it's amazing. So I reached out to Richard because we had stayed connected in these 5 years. And I said, Richard, I want to bring Marcus to Ghana. But one of the things about the other travel company, which was fine, is they had tours already created, like adventure tour or culture tour, quote, culture tour, or, concert tour, or different types of tours. And I told Richard, I want to do a little bit of everything with Marcus. And I'm so glad that Royal Land Tours built a custom tour for me and Marcus, and I'm going to show you all what they sent me, but that was a lot. So Richard, what would you say about what I've shared so far?
I didn't hear you, please. You said I should.
I was just wondering if you had anything to add about what I said so far about coming
Yes,
to
that
Ghana.
you said, yeah, whatever you said, that is it. Since I have worked with you before, since we've been in touch, I didn't just want to do just anything for you. I wanted to do something that is memorable. So I asked my team to start doing something, adding up everything so that you choose from. You choose from. Even when you came to Ghana, things that you had interest in, I had to readjust certain things and then make sure you enjoyed it. And then Marcus, whatever Marcus also wanted, we went on to do it for him as well. So it was a blend
Absolutely.
it was a blend of culture, adventure, and what have you. Yeah.
So I'm going to show you all pictures, and I'm actually going to show you all my itinerary. I see you all in the chat. Christina says it was beautiful. Hello, Discipled One. I'm glad you all are excited. Hello, Jürgen from Germany. And we have Dr. White here who is interested. So I am actually going to drop the link. I'm going to share with you all. I was going to do this at the end, but I am going to show you all, I have a link. If you are interested in coming to Ghana with me, there is nothing like, especially when it's cold this time of year, there's nothing like going to the tropics when it is cold in North America. So we are planning a December to remember. So I will be going back to Ghana December of 2025. We're planning between the week of Christmas and New Year's another 10-day trip, and I have the link. I'll drop that in the chat as well. You all can take a look, but I'm going to show you everything here, especially my trip, so you all can see. But if you have questions, that's why I wanted to do this with Richard. If you all have questions about traveling, Richard can answer them, and you don't have to wait until December. Richard has decades of experience. I think he told me he had just come back from Kenya. So if you want to go to any West African countries, they have tours that are already built, as well as the custom tour like they built for me. So I'm going to show you all the itinerary that they put together for me, because you all know me. I like the music, I like the food, I like the fun, but I was traveling with a 17-year-old boy who is, active, who likes adventure. And so let me show you all what Richard put together for me. And this is just an example of what you all can expect. We already have one built out for the December to remember. But let me show you all this. So they sent this PDF, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I just want to show you all here. So they put together a 10-day tour for me, part history, part culture, part wildlife, and then Afrofuture, which is the concert, if you're interested in that. So you can see here for every day of the tour, what's going to happen when we arrive, the different hotels we're going to be at. It tells you, this one was really wonderful for me, visit my parents' house. Since you all know my story, being born in Ghana, my mom and dad have a house in the city, and they have a house in the village. And one of the things that was important to me, which was not part of the standard tour, is to take Marcus to show him where his grandparents' home is. So that's part of our legacy. That's part of our lineage. And so I was able to ask Richard if we could carve out some time and go by my parents' house. And they did that for us. That was one of the special things that Royal Land Tour did just for me. So we carved out a day to go to my parents' house in Accra. We also went to some museums. So if you're interested in history, I have museum pictures to show you all. You all know I am not here for these animals. You already know, but Marcus is. We did some safari stuff, but just showing you all here. We did a riverboat cruise. I've been trying to post and share with you all everything that I did. It was a lot. This is just a sample of it. There were musical festivals. We traveled to Kumasi, so I want to talk about that a little bit. So Ghana obviously is a country with multiple cities, and it's a country in West Africa. And so the capital city is on the coastline. And in order to see a country, it's important that you don't just go to one location. One of the things that I love about this tour and what Royal Land can do for you is you get to see the whole country, or as much of it as you want to. So we were in 3 different hotels. We had a vehicle. I'll show you all that, but they can also do flights. For our December to remember, we're going to fly within Ghana. So you can see the coastal area, you can see the central region. We're going to do the slave castles, all of that. So I'm really excited about that. Richard, maybe you can speak a little bit about maybe the Ghana tour and some of the other West African tours that you do, where you can see multiple cities and multiple countries.
Yeah, so though we are based in Ghana, we do West Africa, sometimes East Africa. West Africa, sometimes we go to Senegal. Formerly, we're going to Mali and Burkina Faso. But because of the volatile things that is happening there, so we've not entirely stopped, but I want to see that the country is well stable before we go. Togo, Benin, Ghana, sometimes Guinea-Bissau, Senegal. Those are the countries we do most of the time, and Gambia. So we can go to Bonjour, we do places in there. They do a lot of adventure also in there. Senegal, we see the Gorée Islands, and then we see what they do more of the slavery. So we do that side too. But Togo, Benin, we do the culture, and then we do the adventure in Togo, Benin. Then Ghana, you have multiple things to do, multiples. You are even privileged to see the king. We can arrange for that. We see the chiefs. You have your naming ceremonies. You are re-Christianed. There's so many things you do in Ghana. So many things.
I am so excited that you said that. I didn't know if I was allowed to share, but since he said it, I'm going to repeat what he said. Before colonization, Ghana, like a lot of other cultures, had kingdoms, and we still have kings. I got to see my dad's part of the country, my mom's part of the country, and I come from the Asante people on my dad's side, which has been pronounced as Ashanti by the British. And Mr. Richard, if it's okay, I'm going to ask you to tell that story in just a moment. But there is still a king of Asante, and Mr. Richard has connections. So those of you who come with me in December, we will get to meet the Asante king. We will get to meet the Ashanti king. I cannot believe he's going to make this happen for us. All right. So we do have some questions here. Achilles wants to know if you have any trips to Zimbabwe, and Jurgen wants to know if you have any trips to Namibia.
Yes, we do that. We have agents in there.
So wonderful. Christina has a question. I love this question. She says, what part of Africa has a beach destination? So Africa is a huge continent with coastline all over. And I'll pull up a map in a moment. But where Ghana sits on the western part, the south of my country has beautiful beaches. And I have some pictures to show you all because we celebrated New Year's on the beach. There's nothing like New Year's on the beach. And we're going to do that again in December. But I know Kenya has beautiful beaches. Richard, can you speak to any other countries in Ghana that have beautiful beaches that would be a good destination?
Yes. Yes. The whole of Africa, apart from Mali, the middle ones, from Nigeria, Togo, Benin, Senegal, Ghana, Ivory Coast, we all have beaches. Go to the southern side, they also have beaches, and then the rivers. That is South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, all those places, they have beaches as well. Kenya as well. That is those are the edges. They all, it's only those in the middle those that don't have beaches. But Africa has a very wide beach. Ghana alone has over 540 kilometers of beach. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
540 kilometers of beach. Yeah.
So for Christina and for anyone else who's wondering, lots of beautiful beaches in Ghana, unless you're in the in Ghana, unless you're in the central part of Africa, which would be landlocked, just like the US, right? We have coastal states, and then we have states like Kansas and Oklahoma that don't have beaches. Africa is the same. So beautiful beaches. And I love that Mr. Richard said they have agents basically all over. So Bert has a question about the package and the price. So I'm going to hop over to that, and then we will come back to my pictures because I want to show you all my experience. But if you have questions, like I said, now is your time. You can ask, or again, I'm going to drop the link. I have a Google form for you all. Some of you have already filled out the form. Add your name, and let me share you all this form so you all can see. And then we're going to hop over and take a look at this so everybody knows what's coming up in December, and then we'll come back to what I just did. So let's see. I am going to share this tab. Oh, let's go back. Let's finish the itinerary. Okay. So just so you all can see, Gillis had a comment about the itinerary that I wanted to get to. She said, coordinating itineraries is a headache. So nice to have someone do it for you. Absolutely. Especially if you can tell them what you want and it's not a set template. That is probably the best part of working with Royal Land Tours. For me, like I shared with you all, I have different interests than Marcus, but Richard was able to accommodate both of us. So you all see, we went to Kumasi, we went to Cape Coast. So we traveled to 3 different parts of Ghana. We had a van that was our private vehicle the entire time. I'll show you all that. We went to the slave castles. We went everywhere. And then for departure, they made sure that we got back to the airport safe and sound. And that's a huge part of it because, you know, I was traveling with Marcus. And even when I go by myself, the safety is really, really important. Okay, so that is the itinerary part. Let me hop over to the website for Royal Land Tours. Actually, yes, I'm going to hop over to the website so you all can see, and then I'm going to drop the link for Bert, who wanted to know about the package and the price. High level, the package is customizable based on what you want. They do have some set tours, so I will show you all that if you don't know anything and you just want to see what they have. But you can also customize your tour, and the price will be based on duration. I have seen tours as short as 3 days if you're in the area and you just want to do a 3-day tour. And Richard was telling me he hosted a woman that was writing a book on slavery, and she booked a 21-day tour. So we are planning the Maggie December to Remember to be a 10-day tour. So let me show you all what comes with it. But while I'm pulling it up, Richard, maybe you can speak to, I know Royal Land Tours can accommodate singles, couples, families, seniors.
Yeah.
Who do you all serve?
We serve everybody, even people in wheelchairs. We make sure they have their safety. They are well catered for. They don't have needs, or we meet their needs. So whatever your need is, if you have a problem, just share it, and then we'll make provisions for it. If even want a motorable wheelchair, we'll provide it. We make sure whatever you do want to accomplish before you go back, we do it. And
Okay,
we don't want you to
fantastic.
go, we don't want you to have any difficulties whilst on the tour. So we make sure we cater for all the needs you have. If it's even medical, we could even sometimes find you a doctor to be with you, and that, or you communicate a communication with the person. Yeah, we do that as well. Is Maggie there? Hello.
All right, sorry about that. I lost you all, but I'm back. Okay.
Mm.
Thank you so much for explaining that, Richard. And I wanted to get, because I see the question on TikTok too, what is the price for 2 to go to Ghana? So let me show you all Richard's website. And again, it depends, but I'm going to show you what we have planned for the Maggie tour. And I think, Richard, you mentioned anywhere between low, like 3,000 and 5,000 based on what you all want to do. But I'm going to show you all their website. All right. And then I promise we're going to get to my pictures. So this is royallandtours.com. And I've dropped the link. The link is also in the description, and I've tagged them. They're on all social media, so you all can connect with Richard and his team. So you can see here, you can go to destinations. They have West Africa for anyone who wants to go to these countries. If you want to go to Eastern Africa, if you want to go to Southern Africa, or if you want to go to Northern Africa. So they have tours for the whole continent. And like I said, it's completely your right out date. But for us, we have a place already on their homepage. So we talked about some of the benefits about using Royal Land Tours. And obviously, Richard is from Ghana. So you have someone local. This is a Ghanaian business, somebody local to show you all our country. So here are the West African tours that they already have. And I'm just going to scroll down here. This one, Maggie, December to Remember. So we already have a place on their homepage. But you all can see here, the prices here are going to vary. I'm seeing as low as 2,500. You all can scroll through and take a look. But let me go through our tour at a high level. And again, if you're interested, add your name to the Google form, and we're going to have a private Zoom where you can ask all of your questions. So for Maggie's December to Remember, this is the Afrochella. Let me see if I can find the Maggie tour. One second. I think the link might be broken, but I can grab it. But while I'm looking up my link, Mr. Richard, can you let people know approximately low end and high end, what they should budget for if they want to come to Ghana?
Yes. First of all, it depends on the number of days you are going to spend. We find a way to make sure, if you don't even have the money, the best thing is to have a group. With groups, the prices are a bit lower, depending on the days and the type of hotels and the facilities we'll be using. So those are some of the things you have to think about. If it is just you, private, it's more expensive. It's more expensive. But the best thing is if you have a group. But we could even have a group which is even customized. A group that is customized. Things that these people want, things that these people want. So we are in a group, but we'll be doing two different things at the same time.
I am so glad that you said that. So thank you.
Yes.
So those of you all that are asking about pricing, and I did find my link, so I'm going to share it to you. If you want a private tour, which Richard will do, the tour that I had for me and Marcus was just me and Marcus, and I had this dedicated team just for us. So you can travel solo and have the whole trip to yourself. That is going to be more expensive. But like Richard said, if you're able to get a group together, this could be family reunion, this could be church group, this could be, I think he said vow renewals, baby christening, sororities, fraternities. I'm planning for about 10 people for my trip, December to Remember. But if you all want to make your own tour, you can reach out to Richard, and then the price comes down, like he said, based on the number of people, based on how long you want to stay, and the accommodations. Now, you all know I like to travel nice, and so I wanted to have a premium experience, and I'll show you all the hotels and all the things that we did, but you can completely customize. I'm sure if you told Richard, this is my budget, and then they can work to customize what you want to do in that budget. But I love what he just said about being able to split up the tour. So if you have a group and you have adults and you have kids, and the kids want to do the canopy walk, parasailing, all the adventurous safari stuff, and the adults want to do something more relaxed, even within your group, they can customize the itinerary. And I didn't know that because Marcus and I were together all the time. Christina says, what about a child with autism coming to Ghana? If we ever visit, I want to bring him. Do you all handle any travelers with special needs, Richard?
Yes, we do. We do. So you just tell us what you need, things that will aid you, and then we provide it. By the time you get to the airport, you have all those things.
I love that. All right, so I found my link, and I will drop the link so you all have it. This is the tour page that Royal Land Tours has put together for us. So I'm just going to go over high level. Again, if you're interested, please add your name to the Google form, and I will drop the Google form link as well. But that way you all can research everything that Richard and his team have planned for us. So this is the tour, December to Remember with Maggie. Right now, the price is looking about $4,250. So let me show you what you get. Again, that's 10 days. There's some pictures of me and Marcus. You all know I have a cooking channel, so they arranged for custom cooking lessons for us. We did that. We went to some historical cultural centers, kente weaving. There's me at one of the sacred sites. Of course, lots of food. Kwame Nkrumah Museum, the first president. Marcus made his own Adinkra cloth, everything, beads, lots of shopping. lots of shopping, and the slave castles as well. So as much as you want to do or as little as you want to do, they can customize it for you. Yes, I did the canopy walk. You all will see my pictures. Lots of amazing food. Marcus and I even made our own fufu. So I'm not going to go through everything, but I've dropped the link so you all can see and you can read it on your own. So this is a description of everything that we're going to do in December. And it shows you the highlights of what's included. And then it has the itinerary already here, day by day. You all can click through each one of those, what happens when you arrive, what we do in the capital city. I want to see some botanical gardens. So Mr. Richard added this for us. We're going to do a riverboat cruise and have lunch on the cruise. We're going to fly to Kumasi, which is another city in Ghana. And I wanted to fly you all because the last time we did it, we drove and it was about a 4-hour drive. So one whole
Right.
day was travel day. This way we can fly in like 45 minutes and be able to do more things when we land. So I'm really excited about that. So you all see, we're going to fly to Kumasi. We're going to visit all the crafting with the kente weaving. You get to practice all that, shop as much as you want to. We will go to the slave coast. You can expand all of these, and it has pictures and it has a description of everything that we're going to do for the Maggie tour, December to Remember, the Canopy walk, for those of you all that are adventurous and want to go to the rainforest. Of course, we're going to do more cooking lessons and we're going to have some dance lessons. I am so excited about this. Marcus and I made our own fufu, and then up until departure. All right. So I've dropped the link. That is the December to Remember for Maggie. It's also in the description. And so that is what we were able to customize. But I will tell you this. Those of you all that are interested, that want to join the December to Remember, I am going to be flexible. If there's something that you really want to do in Ghana, like Richard said, we can completely customize it. So our Zoom call will be in 2 weeks, January 25th. And I think it'll be around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when you fill out the Google form, I will add you to the calendar invite. And even if you can't attend live, I'm going to record it so you all will know what we're planning, and then you all can join us if you're interested. All right, Richard, did you want to say anything else about December to Remember? And then we'll get into
Yes. December to Remember is something people from the diaspora are buying into. You can't, it is a period that is December into the new year. It's a period that you've worked so hard throughout the year, and you come to enjoy till you enter into another year. So a lot of people from the diaspora are now catching up with December to Remember. With we started with the Afro Nation, then Afro Future. The other things that are coming up, you can't come to Ghana and leave the same. It is a full carnival. It is so exciting, very exciting. It's anything you want to do, anything you want to do. I promise you, when you come to Ghana, you would love to come the following year and repeat and repeat and repeat.
He is so right.
So exciting, yeah.
It is really exciting. So hopefully you all feel my excitement. I know I'm slightly biased, but we do have a question from Dr. White. If the 4250 includes airfare, it does not. The airfare will determine will depend on where you're flying from. So you all can see here, the international flights are not included in that price. Now, if you want Royal Land Tours to quote you a price with airfare, they can. I ended up booking up my own flights and they met us at the airport. So it's completely up to you. And I will show you all on the Google form that I've dropped the link so you all can see. So, excuse me, I'm just asking you all to fill out what is your email so I can add you to our Zoom meeting invitation. That's going to be in a couple of weeks. And then I'm asking, I need to change the date here, if you all can attend live or if you need the recording. I want to know the group that's traveling, if they're going to be young people, middle-aged like me, or seniors, and then, any other questions that you all have. All right. And also one of the questions on there is what airport is closest to you. So this invitation goes to anyone. You can be in America, you can be in Europe, you can be in the Caribbean, you can be anywhere and come to Ghana. And again, you don't have to wait for December. If you want to travel and your holiday break is in the middle of the year or right now, you want to go now that it's off season, which is a great time to go. But I am planning a trip in December, and we're going to do it right after Christmas. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, so now I want to go over into the pictures of my trip. You all have seen some of them, but I just want to kind of walk through the experience that Marcus and I had. And I did reach out to Marcus and I asked him if he wanted to share or hop on and share his experience. He said no, but he said this is what he wanted me to say, that it was very diverse, he was not bored, and he liked it. Shout out to the 17-year-old. And I said, would you go back? Would you do it again? And he said, yes. So for me, I wanted to do it because I wanted Marcus to experience, you know, my country, his heritage in person and not just hear about it, what other people say. But one of the things I love about Richard is that he actually has studied, I think he calls it travel psychology or tour psychology. Yeah. And so he knows what people light up about and what they don't. And he was able to see what Marcus was really interested in and give him more of that. All right, so let's go over to the photos. And I'm just going to walk you all through everything that happened. So when we arrived at Kotoko, if I'm saying that correctly, Kotoka, International Airport. This is Richard's nephew, Eugene. He was there. It was so fun to have a sign with our name on it. I felt like we were, you know, presidential. We got the royal treatment from ROYALLAND Tours. So Eugene was there with our names on a sign. So as soon as we got our luggage, they were outside for us. This was our van. We had a dedicated van the entire 10 days. We had a dedicated driver, also named Richard, the entire 10 days. So it was for us. It was a private vehicle. It was just me and Marcus, and it was Richard and his team. That was it. So it's really nice also for the safety and for the comfort. It's air conditioned. It took us everywhere, picked us up from the airport, took us all over Ghana, and then brought us back to the airport 10 days later. And Richard, you can speak to the transportation. If you have big groups, I know when I traveled with you all before, you can do coach buses or anything,
yes.
Right?
Yes, with larger groups, we have 45 seaters. We have 55 seaters buses. It could be 2 or 3, depending on the number. For people less than 5, we have mini vans. 2, we have SUVs for them. So depending on the number, make sure you have your comfort. That is what we want, your comfort. So with larger groups, we have larger coaches for them, big coaches, and then you're able to maneuver very well.
And I'm assuming, regardless of the size of the vehicle, whether it's SUV for 1 or 2 people or large coach buses, it's dedicated transportation for that group.
Dedicated. Okay. Dedicated. No one joins. It's just for you.
Just for you. So wanted to make sure you all knew that. All right. So we arrived and Richard and his team met us at the airport and picked us up and brought us to our first hotel. So just showing you all a couple of pictures. We had really nice hotels, all of the amenities, of course, air conditioning, private bathrooms, irons, restaurants, spa, everything. So we stayed there, pools, whatever you want to do. This was the first of 3 hotels that we stayed in because, like I said, we covered a lot of the southern part of Ghana. We were in 3 different hotels because we were in 3 different cities, and Richard and his team were with us the entire time. So on day 1, I'm just going to kind of go through these. This was the Kwame Nkrumah Museum, which was the first president of Ghana. We also went to the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum. Those of you all who know about Black American history know about W.E.B. Du Bois, who actually came to Ghana in his later years. And so Richard and his team took us there. If you're interested in that type of cultural history or political history or the Pan-African movement or independence from colonialism or any of those things, that's how we started off the tour. Would you add anything to that, Richard?
Yes. Apart from those museums, we have other museums like the National Museum, the Padmore Museums. There are other museums that, depending on what you want, we give it to you. But we'll make sure we give you varieties. We'll make sure we give you variety. So as we as we have our meetings, we know exactly what you want. So it goes into the itinerary. And then apart from that, there are places of historical interests that we can add to. For instance, a place called Gamashi in the capital. It's an old, we call it Old Accra. Old Accra. Yes. So you go to Old Accra, you see what the people, we mesh you into the culture of the people. That is what, Maggie, you wanted. You wanted the next this year you wanted to go to Old Accra to see exactly what they do, their food and whatever they do there. That is what you were requesting before you left. So we'll do
Yes.
Old Accra so that you'd see exactly how the people have lived.
Yes, absolutely. Richard is here. If you all have questions, I'm watching TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, so you can ask your questions. And yes, thank you for this information. So you all know I'm here about the culture and the history. Like I said, I was born in Ghana, and I had the stories of my parents growing up, raised in America since age 1. So culturally American, but I have a heritage. My name, Ama Ohenewa, means something. And so being able to go there and have those things verified by Richard about my heritage, for me, it was life-changing. So I want to do more culture, but you all know that I took Marcus, so he likes animals. I don't, but that's okay. We went to the safari, so many safaris. So if you're interested in wildlife, y'all know how I am about these animals, but we went to a couple safaris they have where you can learn about all the different animals. This was a walking tour. So the bus took us here, and then we were able to walk and see, as you can see, zebras and kangaroos. Marcus was able to feed the animals. I took pictures. Y'all know I'm not here to be with the animals. And then the safari visit included lunch. So Richard, what would you say for those people who like animals and safari? I know we have aqua safari. What can you speak to as far as the nature part of Ghana?
Yes, we have parks. The biggest is the Mole National Park, which is in the northern part of Ghana. We have other reserves as well in different parts of Ghana, like the Boabi Monkey Sanctuary, Tafiatome Monkey Sanctuary, Boabi Fima. We have a lot of safari we could move around. So it depends on those who want more safari. We give them more safari, and then we mix it up with the culture and other things. Yes, Maggie, that is not yours. We know what to give to you.
Yes, so you all know
Yeah.
if you saw my footage, I was viciously attacked by a monkey. So I do not plan on going back to the safari. But like Richard said, if you want to join us for December to remember, we can have some of you who want to spend the day at, I don't know, this monkey, reserves,
Yeah,
and then
monkey
some of us
slaves.
who want to go to other places, absolutely.
Yeah.
You all thought I was British. A lot of people don't know where I'm coming from, but yes, I am Ghanaian, just raised in the States. But yes, and I'm taking you all back with me to Ghana. Christina is here for the lions, not me. But my point is that we had safari option on our tour. And one of the things that's great, Richard was with us every day, the whole time. In all the hotels, his team was with us. So we were never alone. But when we went to these locations like the safari, there would be a sight guide there. So the sight guide knew about the different types of birds and the animals and the
Animals.
and all of that. And Richard would just kind of fall back and let us learn about whatever location we were at. Then when it was time to go to the next one, we were always with his team. So I just wanted to ask about that. Phyllis is asking if there's cigar lounges in Ghana. I'm not answering that. So wonderful food. You all know if you like real food, rice and meat and desserts and salads and all of that. I can't even say enough about the food. So the safari and then back to the hotel. You all know I'm here for the spa. So I already had my massages and everything. So much good food. I can't even begin to speak about the food, but let me ask you this, Richard. People who have dietary restrictions, vegetarian,
Yes,
vegan,
yes,
halal, what can you
yes.
share about that?
Every hotel you get to, let me start this way. Before you embark, we ask about these things. What's your allergies and what you want, what you don't want. If you're a vegan or whatever it is, we know. So we plan for that. We tell the hotels this is what this people, 2 or 3 people wants this. These people also want this. And those who want to go for the general buffet too, they go for it. So we make provisions for all those things, all category of people. Whatever you want, you get it.
Yes, and there's something for everyone, you all. So Richard spoke to the hotels. I did the package that included breakfast and dinner. So we ate in the hotel restaurant. They have packages. If you want to go do your own meals, you can do that. I just wanted to make sure that food was always covered. So much variety. So whatever your dietary restrictions are. And at the last place, we had a personal chef, a private chef. If I asked for seafood, she made it happen. So you have no concern about the food. And Bert is asking, is there a nice bar? Every restaurant,
Everywhere.
every restaurant, even on the beaches. So full bartender service. You know, Gillis, I know you all like your whiskeys. I
Mhm.
think I got a bottle of Dom Perignon for New Year. So you can get all of your cocktails and even some custom drinks, Long Island iced tea, mojitos, all of that they can make for you there. All right, so we did the safari, and then every night we would come back to our hotel and have dinner. So you can see beautiful setup, really comfortable, air conditioned, everything that you want. If you all saw my food pictures, it's just incredible. The next day we went to Shai Hills, which was, you know, a wonderful historical area. I learned about how young girls are prepared for marriage. They had rocks there. You know, Marcus was here for the adventure. Again, not me.
Yeah.
He was able to rope climb. I just stood for the picture, but this was one of the days that we were in Ghana and we got to see so much about not just the current history. And this is really important to me, especially with the history of slavery and colonialism. We know about that. But one of the things that I loved about being with Richard, as we were driving to these different places, he would point out something and he would say, look over there, and those hills over there, this is where the indigenous people lived. This is how they, you know, lived off the land, how they defended themselves. So we were able to get that history and go there. So much has been happening around the world for centuries, in my country and other countries, for so long before modern times. And so I really love being able to connect with the history that has existed for thousands of years. Christina said the food looks amazing. What's in the rice that they make there that makes it yellow? The meat, amazing. There was beef. There was lamb, there was goat. The jollof rice is a signature, probably closest to like a Spanish rice, but like tomato paste, all kind of seasonings. The food is incredible. It tastes just like my mom's food. Marcus says it tastes like Nana's food. It was so good. Let's see what else we have here. I think next we went on a couple river cruises. Yes,
Mhm.
so we went to the Akosombo. This is the part of Ghana where my mom is from, the Volta
Yeah.
region. Maybe you can speak a little bit about the Volta River and the Akosombo Dam that we saw because it
Yes.
provides power.
Yes. The we call the place the Volta region. which is in the eastern part of Ghana. And we have a long stretch, one of the biggest rivers in the world, or man-made lake in the world, called the Volta Lake. That is where we initially had power, that is electricity. It's a hydro dam. Initially, it was started in 1920, but the British never completed it. They never did anything. So Kwame Nkrumah, that's the first president, had to restart it. And then by 1965, he commissioned it, which was supplying electricity to not only Ghana, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Mali, Ivory Coast. So people were buying power from Ghana, from the initiative of the first president of Ghana. So we went to see the hydro dam.
Yes, so amazing. And I'm so proud of my country. I mean, of course I'm biased, but one thing you all should know about Ghana, Ghana was the first country in
Okay.
Africa to be independent from British rule. So Ghana has been a leader in a lot of areas. And I love what Richard said about the power. Sometimes you hear in developing countries, the power can be unstable. Not in Ghana. Ghana is a very safe country. Ghana is welcome to everyone. Like I said, if you are of any culture, we had Europeans there, we had Caribbean people there, Americans there. Anybody is welcome to tour with us, and you will be with me and you will be with Richard. But yes, Ghana is a leader. And our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, like he said, was spearheading a lot of that progression. So I'm just incredibly proud. And this is the part of Ghana where my mom is from, the Volta region. And so we took a cruise to see the dams that provide the hydro dams that provide power for a lot of West Africa. So there's me and Marcus on one of the cruises that we did with Eugene. He's the one who met us with the sign at the airport, and Richard and his team. So we had the boat to ourselves. You all can see here, this is just one of the buffets. And it just spread on and on. I think this is fruit and dessert, but every night there was so much food, anything that you wanted, believe me. All right, so next we're moving on to Kumasi. This is the cultural center of Ghana. Yes, absolutely. And Marcus had the ability to make adinkra cloth. And the adinkra is a collection of symbols, and each symbol means something. So this was our site guide and our host, and he showed Marcus how they make the natural dye that turns into the paint for the adinkra cloth. So we got to pound it. Richard, can you remind me, what are we pounding here, and what?
And this is the bark of a tree called badye. Yeah, the badye tree. So before the invention of paints, we were using paints.
I love that. So much comes from the earth. Richard said before the invention of paint, we were painting in Ghana. And so this is the type of thing that you all will learn. So you can see me and Marcus here in this picture where our guide is showing us, and I don't know if you all can see in here, it looks like what do you call it? Mulch, but it's basically, the bark of a tree, like Richard said, and you pound that. And then he showed us how they cook it down over, days and days and days, and it turns into the ink. And you can see here the adinkra. Each one of these means something. So when you see the fabrics and they have all these symbols, it tells a story. This is how our culture was written. This is how we passed information along. So you can see here, Marcus is getting ready to choose his own cloth. And then all of the different symbols here have a meaning. I have this in my living room too. My dad gave me my first adinkra. And so part of the tour and part of what we did is Marcus was able to pick out the symbols that meant something to him. Maybe you can tell us here. I know this one here, Jinyami, means fear no one but God. Are you able to see this one, Mr. Richard? And what is this one? The other symbols
I
here?
can't see it very well, but I don't know if it's the horn, wisdom. Yeah, I think that is wisdom. Yes, I think that is wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So you all can see here, part of the tour includes not just going to see these crafts, but having the hands-on experience. And then Marcus was
Mhm.
able to make his own, and this is what was given to him. So this was the souvenir that he took. I've done it. You will be able to do this in December to remember. You can learn about the process. You can pound the tree bark. You can help make your own ink. Yes, it is beautiful and so cool. And this is what was really important for me to take Marcus to see. And this is just one of the things that we did in Kumasi. Again, Kumasi is the cultural center of Ghana and where my dad's
Yeah.
people are from. So my mom's people are from the Volta region. My dad's people come from the Asante region. So you can see how it was woven together to tell stories. And this was the cloth of my people. And so it's really important that Marcus was able to participate in that. Next, we went to the kingdom. And I am so excited. For those of you all who just hopped on, I am going to ask Mr. Richard to tell a story, if you don't mind. Do you still have some time, Mr. Richard, to continue?
Yes, we still have some 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Are you able to go past time?
Oh, yeah, we can. We can.
Okay, yes. And Killa
Yeah.
says Marcus will remember this forever. Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
So the next part of Kumasi we went to is the Asante Kingdom, where the king of
Yes.
Asante still lives today. And this is a tradition
Yes.
that's been going on for centuries. And I've asked Richard to
Yes.
tell you all the story. So I'm going to let him speak about the Asante Kingdom, how it came to be. And if those of you all who just hopped on, when we go back in December, Richard has connections. We will actually meet the king of Asante. And I get chills just thinking about that. But if you've never met a king before, if you've never met an African king before, I haven't, we will have that as part of our tour in Ghana. So this will be a lifetime moment. But Mr. Richard, could you please tell us the story of
Yes.
how
The Asante Kingdom was established in the late 17th century, around 1695, thereabouts. But before then, they lived as a fragmented state where they were under bondage to one of the clans in Ghana. When I say they were under bondage, they were serving the people we call the Dentra people. So, for years they were under the Dentras, but they wanted a way to free themselves until one of the leaders died, and then his nephew had to take over as a leader of one of the clans. He invited a friend who helped him establish the Asante Kingdom. I'm not telling you everything because when you come, you hear it. The friend was able to free them by making them a united people. He united them, took their symbols of authority away, and then gave them one king who led them into battle against the dangerous, and they freed themselves. From there on, they were able to conquer a lot of lands to form the kingdom, and the kingdom has existed over 300 years. They inherit through their mothers, matrilineal. That is how they have their inheritance, and they've been able to preserve their culture up to today. When you come, you would hear about a woman called Ya Asantwa, a famous woman who fought the British for 9 months. We would hear about the minerals, the gold they have, and how proud they are. And then where we'll be going, the museum, the history attached to that museum, and then where the king also lives, we'll have the privilege to see certain things about the people of Asante. It is one of the existing kingdoms in the world now. It's one of the existing kingdoms thriving well through their culture. So we see much about the people of Asante and why we say a rich black man living in the forest. A rich black man living in the forest. So we hear about the history about the people of Asante. We don't say Ashanti, we say Asante.
I'm
Yes.
so glad you said that because I wanted to make sure people heard that. And I get chills. It doesn't matter how many times I listen to this story, but I hope you all heard that. And Akwabat means welcome. We are going to go
Welcome.
to the palace where the king actually lives. And the name of the people is Asante. Mr. Richard, can you please let us know why people pronounce it differently?
Ashanti is a corrupted name, like Shanty Town. The people, the name is Asa Inti. We are gathered because of war. So Asa Inti. So Asante, not Ashanti. It was corrupted by the Europeans, especially the British, who could not pronounce the Asante well, but pronounce it Ashanti. But we don't say Ashanti, we say Asante.
So
Yeah.
there is a history lesson for you all. So I know a lot of people know about the famous Ashanti people. You call it Ashanti people, where
Yeah.
the kente cloth comes from. This is where my dad's people come from. But the proper name is Asante. That is the name. This is the beautiful kente cloth. I've seen my mom and dad wear this. I have some pieces, and it was the land of gold. In the museum, we couldn't take a lot of pictures, but you can see here, these people were rich off of the land. This is what brought Europeans and others to Ghana, but this is the gold, just some of the gold that the Asante people, it was part of their land. So I just wanted to make sure that you all knew that. And these are some of the lessons that we will hear on the December to Remember. And you have access to Richard, who has studied this history, who is a Ghanaian, who can tell you about all the different clans, where my dad's people come from, a group, the Achins, that broke off from the Asantes, my mom, Ewe people. He speaks the different languages. It is just fascinating. And I know, again, I am biased, but if you have ever wanted to come to Africa, Bert says you've never been to Africa. I am going in December this year, and God willing, every year. And I want you all to come with me. The December to Remember. The link is in the description. So we will be going back and getting even more teaching. All right, so that's a little bit about the Asante Kingdom. And then for those of you all who are interested in the slave history, we did go to Asin Manso, where the captives were taken and where they were, before they were put into bondage, where they had their last bath. We went to the slave castles. We saw where the ships would pull up, and the door of no return, where the slaves were, the captives were sold into slavery. We all know about the tragic history, the brutality. And if this is something that you're interested in learning and seeing, this was definitely part of the tour because it's history. It's not the whole story, but it is part of the story. And it is important, especially as Americans, you know the story told by Americans and American history and history books. It is life-changing to go there and to see it for yourself, to hear an African man tell you about what happened to our ancestors. You can see Mia Marcus there taking some pictures at the Portuguese and the British castles, to go in and see the dungeons for yourself, to see where the women were separated from the men, to see the door of no return. I don't know if you all can see this, but this is the door of no return, where the ships would pull up, and this was the last place that people were marched to go into the unknown world. It is a feeling that I cannot explain. It is so powerful, and it was so touching to be able to see. I don't know if you all saw some of the flowers and some of the notes that people from other cultures, we had Portuguese people writing letters of apologies, and there's nothing that you can do at this point, but it's just really important to be able to see this history, not just from the American side. But what makes me so proud is when this was happening in the United States and the other colonies in the 1600s, like Richard said, we had our kingdoms. Our kingdoms were thriving. Our people were thriving. And like he said, when one king dies in our culture, it's the queen mothers that get together and appoint the next king. So it doesn't go down from the father to the firstborn son like in other cultures. We have our own way of appointing the next king, and this has been happening for centuries. And there is an Asante king living today that we will meet when we go to this in December. So we have some more questions. Sherry wants to know about the weather. And Bert wants to know about the payment. So I'm going to answer Bert's question, and then, well, Richard, I'm going to let you. Yes, you can make payment plans. I think the deposit is just 10%, but what can you speak to as far as payment plans?
Yeah, because it's a 1 year period of, and then if you think you don't have the money, what you do is we call something susu. Susu is a local way of the microwave of paying. Microwave of paying. Um, every month you set aside something. You have a plan with your leader, and then every month you set aside something. If it is if it's about 4,000 or 5,000 US dollars. So you share it among the month, what you are able to give up at the end of the month, or anytime you feel you need to pay. So there's a plan for that. It's up to you. Maybe I want to pay 1,000 cedis every month, 1,500 cedis every month, or every 2 months until we get to maybe October, November. By then, you finish paying so that everything is set, and then the hotels are booked, everything is booked. The only thing left for you is your air ticket and then your visa to Ghana. That's all. So the plan is, this is for those coming in December. Those who have maybe they want to come maybe in March, April, from any time, there's also a plan. So when you come to we start speaking, we'll give you a plan. We have our director there as well in the Atlanta. Maggie knows her, so she would also tell you exactly how you can do it, so that she'll help you out. She has a way to help you out, so that you can do your payments and then be found wanted.
Yes, absolutely. So, to answer the question, you can absolutely make payments. This is why I wanted to bring this to you all in January. We will be
Mm.
traveling in December. So, you have a whole year. And, like Richard said, Mr. Richard said, if you want to do monthly payments or every month payments, I think what I did is 3 big chunks of payments: a deposit, one payment, and then a final payment. Whatever works for you. And when you go to the website, again, let me just say, none of this comes to me. I am just the cheerleader welcoming you all to this, to my beautiful country. Royal Land Tours is a proper company with a proper tour and payment plan. None of this comes to me. So I just wanted to say that. All right. So I'm going to drop the link again. But yes, you can absolutely make payments. I think he said by October, the payments need to be done. So about 30 days, no, 60 days out from your tour, so that it can make sure everything is taken care of. But you can absolutely do it in a way that works for you. So if you have a bonus coming and you want to make one lump sum, and like I said, I'm going back in December. You do not have to wait for December. They have West African tours, East African, South African, North African. You can go to the website. I linked it again. And you all can take a look at the itinerary. I'm going back to Ghana for December to remember. That's what I'm talking about. But any trip, you can pay all in full or multiple payments. We had another question in here from Sherry. She says, what's the weather like in December? This is my absolute favorite part. You all know it is snowing, right? The kids were out of school yesterday. It's freezing here. And it's so wonderful to go to Ghana when it's cold in North America or Europe, maybe not the Caribbean. But Ghana is a tropical country, and we do not have 4 seasons. We have 2 seasons, a rainy season and a dry season. But Mr. Richard, can you let us know what they can expect for weather in Ghana?
Yes, the weather is absolutely right any time of the year. Um, the one you experience called the Hamatan is from the Sahel region, which is a bit dry, but it doesn't hit. It's not something you. So we have an all year round good weather. Even during the rainy season, it's not that torrential rains. They are just mild rains. Yeah. So mostly the dry seasons are more than the rainy seasons. The rainy season starts from April to July, between April and July. But that, from July all the way back to April, May, it's so dry. It's dry. Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, tropical country, it is going to be humid. It is going to be hot, kind of like Florida hot, Georgia hot. But all of our hotels, all of our vehicles are air conditioned,
Air conditioning.
all of the
Yeah.
comfort. So when you're traveling between places, when you're outside walking, yes, you're going to need either sundresses or short sleeves, absolutely. But once you come into the hotels or the restaurants, everything is air conditioned. Bert had a question about where you make the payments to. So I'm just going to show my screen one more time, then we're going to get back to pictures. So when you all go to I'll show you the December to Remember with Maggie, all of the same page that has all of the itinerary, it has a section here on the right that says book now, and you can click there and Royal Land Tours will take care of everything. You can put your deposit down or break up your payments. So I'll drop that link once again. None of this comes to me. Richard and his team are professionals. I am just the cheerleader. And of course, you can ask me questions, but the payments go to Royal Land Tours so they can take care of everything for you. I will be on the tour with you. So if you want to do December to Remember with Maggie, that's the link that I just dropped. But they have so many other tours and you don't have to wait till December. Richard will be there to take care of you whenever you want to go, wherever you want to go. All right, so let's go back and let's finish up the Maggie and Marcus tour just so you all can see what Marcus and I experienced. So we talked about the slave castles. We talked about all of this history as part of the 10 days. And then it was time for adventure again. So Kakum National Park has this world famous tree canopy. If you are adventurous, this is the place for you. You're going to hike up into the rainforest, okay? All these steps. There are rest places, but it is a lot of walking. So make sure you wear comfortable shoes if you want to do this. If you don't, that's fine. But if you have athletic and adventurous people like Marcus, like Spider-Man, he will run it. When you get to the top after you've walked, on top of the trees, they have these hanging nets. And you can see the beautiful Kakum rainforest. Yes, I did it. It took me a little bit longer. They do have some breaks along the way. I took one break. They had a little rest station. And they also have like a shortcut path, which I had to do last time. But this time with Marcus, I was able to do, it's about 6 nets connected together, 7 nets. Please tell us about the tree canopy.
Yeah, the tree canopy was established in 1995, 96.
Uh-oh, did we lose Richard? Maybe he'll come back. Or is it me? Okay, it looked like it froze for him. So I'm going to see when he can come back and he'll tell us about the tree canopy. Christina wants to know about the desserts over there: cake, puddings, cheesecake, brownies, breads, basically everything. There are some Ghanaian sweets that they have made from, my mom has done a collab with me. We did like, think of it like caramels. So you get condensed milk and then you would like, heat it up and like roll it into candy pieces, whatever you want, they have. All right. Ernesto says, is Maggie back from Ghana? Yes, I'm back in Atlanta and I'm reviewing my trip with you all. So we'll see if Richard is able. Okay, it dropped. Maybe he'll come back. Let me finish my pictures and then we'll finish with Richard. All right. So we were talking about the tree canopy. So there's 7 of these. And when you step on them, they wobble. All right. So it's basically above the trees in the rainforest. So you look down and you're seeing the top of the trees. So if you're adventurous, they have this, they have parasailing, they have all of that stuff. I am not doing that. I'm not doing it again. I did it. Marcus loved it. When we were done, he said, can we do it again? For me, the answer is no. But if you want to, this is available for you all. All right. So I did survive. So we went up into the rainforest and then they have a picture place at the bottom that says, I survived the Kakum Canopy Walkway. So I did it. And this was a part of the adventurous part of our trip in Ghana. So more slave castles, more history. The British had a castle. The Portuguese had a castle. We went and did more of that so you can really feel and see the history if you're interested in it. If you want to know the stories, if you want to go there, if you want to feel, if you want to go into the dungeons, they will let you go into the dungeon and close the door behind you so you can absolutely feel it. Yes, I am back safely. Bert has a question. What about the meat? There was everything. A lot of fish because Ghana is on the coast. I was going to show you all. This is me on New Year's Eve as we wrap it up. Lots of fish in Ghana, whatever kind of fish you want. But yes, they have beef, they have chicken, they have lamb, they have goat meat. I don't know if I ate any pork. Maybe they have it there, but I don't think I ate any pork on this trip. But yes, all of the meats. I don't think I had a steak, but in Ghanaian cuisine, it's a lot of soups and stews paired with a starch. So the meat is inside the soup and stew. So whether you're doing fufu and soup or rice and or kenke and yam with some type of stew, the stew, think of it like a spaghetti sauce. The meat is broken up or kind of chunked up into the sauce. But we had lots of seafood, calamari, lobster, whatever you want, they absolutely have it. Christina says, was walking across scary? Yes. And I think I posted some videos. You step on it and it sways like this, and people are walking in front of you. So as they move, it moves, and I'm literally holding on. But Marcus wanted to do it, and you all know I'll do anything for these boys. And so I did all 7. So it's kind of like if you've ever done not bungee jumping, zip lining. So we did this in Costa Rica where you have a platform and then you zip down to the next one and then you kind of land, and there's a tree that has like a little platform around the tree. You rest there and then you zip down to the next one. But this one was the canopy walks. Ernesto says, was this your first time in Ghana? No, I was born there. So this was my 3rd time going back. And I'm going back again in December. So again, if you all are just hopping on, we had Richard with us. This is the December, we're going to do December to remember. I'm taking you all back with me. All right. If you want to come to Ghana in December, we're going to go between Christmas and New Year's. I have a Zoom meeting scheduled the 25th. So there's a link in the description. Please add your name to the Zoom email list, and we will customize it for those of you all who want to come. But today I'm just reviewing my trip with you all. And then lastly, I wanted to go to the beach. I know Christina had asked about the beach. So we went to the beach. Obviously, it's nighttime. We ordered some food, some chicken and fries. So you all can see there's Marcus, there's Richard. We've got our drinks. We're waiting for the countdown. They had the bonfire. They had the waiter. They had the canopy. They had everything, music going, Marcus at the beach at midnight. And then, I forgot the fireworks, but we did the countdown. They lit fireworks, lit the sky open. It was absolutely incredible. And it was a wonderful way to ring in the new year. Gillis says, I'm sure Alex is eagerly waiting his turn. If he acts right, I'll take him. But yes, that's the plan. Bert says, you'd like to go if you're able. Yes, I would love to have you all with me. Please come to Ghana. You know, of course, I'm biased, but like I said, none of this is for me. I just love getting grounded and seeing my people. A lot of you all have done like DNA testing, and sometimes you find out that you have, history, ancestry in West Africa, in Ghana. So if you want to see it for yourself, I'd love to take you. Yes, you just missed it, Ernesto. We were in Kumasi. So we were in Accra the first few days. We went to Kumasi the second few days, and then Cape Coast. So where we are on the beach was Cape Coast, where the slave ships and the slave castles were, but now beautiful beaches, beautiful hotels. So there's us in our van. We're leaving. Beautiful. Oh, Richard says, what's the problem? Same link if you can. And then that's it. We headed to the airport. Let me see if I can give Richard the link. This is our driver. His name is also Richard. Let me see if I can give Richard the link to hop back on, and then we will wrap up. If you all have any other questions for me, I will take your questions, but really I just wanted to share with you all, I have been posting, I have a whole playlist on my YouTube, and let me give Richard the link, a whole playlist on my YouTube so you all can see what I was able to do. Yes, it was incredible. I'm still holding on to the memories. So this was our driver. So this was Richard. So you all can see Richard in the back. There's Richard making sure we get to the airport okay. So me and Marcus, this is our driver. He was with us from pickup at the airport to drop off 10 days later. And there's Richard with me and Marcus, and there's his nephew in the back, Eugene, who met us there. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. incredible. So I just wanted to recap, like I always do with you all. I'm traveling again. I'll be going to China this summer. I'll be going to France, I think, in the fall, but I'll be going to London in the spring. But there's nothing like going home. There's nothing like going to Ghana. If you've never, oh, it says the site can't be reached. Oh no. Okay. So sorry. He's trying to log in, but I'm just going to say on behalf of Royal Land Tours, I am partnering with them to get the word out, but I'm just so excited to share with you all my beautiful home country. But yes, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Gillis says you have to leave, but thanks for sharing. Check out the Ghana playlist on YouTube. Let me drop that link so you all can see it. One last time, here's the link to the Maggie tour. So you have it. Let me go to the YouTube page and show you all my playlist. I'll grab that for you all so you can watch it. Click on this link and see everything that I did kind of set to music. I tried to make some content for you all while I was there. And if you're not able to travel, I will make content again. And like I said, God willing, I plan to do this every year. So I want to ring in the new year in Ghana every year. So if you want to travel with us, we're going to leave after Christmas. And let me see if I can get the playlist for you. There it is. All right, let me share. I think this is it. And I'll put that in the chat for you all. All right. So thank you, everybody on Instagram. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. I put the playlist. Let me add the Google form one last time. Let me go to my Google form. If you're interested, if you have questions, we're going to have a private meeting on Saturday, January 25th, and we will meet every month. So those of you all that are interested and you want to ask questions directly to Richard, we will be meeting every month. So you can add your name to the form. There's no obligation. This just lets me put you on the invite list for the Zoom. All right. So we will have a Zoom meeting private. It will be recorded. So if you're unable to attend live, if you add your name to the list, I'll make sure and send you the replay. But the website is up. Everything is there. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you all enjoyed this. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for liking. Thank you, Richard. I don't know what happened if you weren't able to hop back on, but yeah, I think that's everything. All right, so I'm done. Lucy and I will be teaching the finishing school shortly. And then if you're here for relationship content, come back. You get a double header today. 5 p.m. Eastern, we will do part 3 of this ridiculous series we are doing for the women who think they're better off being single. All right. So thank you all. And I will see you all at 5 p.m. Eastern. All right, everybody. Goodbye.